Hey, I'm so glad to be with you again today. I'm Joel Pate, president of SCORE Inc. and SCORE University. SCORE U is committed to provide you with excellent and timely training that will help you grow your business through development of the inner skills necessary to take the right actions at the right time. This 4-part series is time sensitive, so when you receive it in your email, be sure to watch it right away and share it with your friends and family and on your social media. Your friends will really appreciate the gesture. Let's jump right into today's very important topic on protecting your energy through making the right decisions to correct what needs to change. To do that requires that you spend your time on the right project or business. It's the best way to lower your stress level and increase your success. Before we begin, allow me to introduce the concept of zero basing. Zero basing begins with one question. If you had this to do over again, knowing then what you know now, what would you change and what would you stop doing? It's a very sobering activity, and if executed honestly, without any reservation of feelings for others or legacy issues, just appear as a test. It will help you clear your mind and give you specific direction by getting you down to basics and keep you from wasting time on the wrong project. Business are people. Honesty with yourself is the basis of success and happiness. Sometimes you just got to say no. Many of us live in a target-rich environment, whether that's being invited to your kid's house for dinner on a day you need to relax, or looking for a new product or to rep, or an affiliate to board. Sometimes the best thing to do is to just say no. I know one business person that the quest to close a deal, sign the contract, get everyone to agree to some new project satisfies his need and quest for a new deal. How do I know? Because I've seen him do it over and over and over again. And I've seen him all fail due to the fact he's promised to do things with various partners and he just doesn't deliver. It seems that once he has thought about it, he thinks it's all done. The problem is that his ideas are not clear. He provides insufficient level of detail when delegating the assignment and only provides an 80,000-foot view of the problem or the opportunity. The problem is that people like this are very persuasive. They have to be. But almost always they fail because they lack the follow-through, and that costs everyone around them a lot of wasted money and time. Be careful to look soberly at someone's actual track record on doing deals before you get involved. Be very careful not to take your good effort, your good money, and throw it after a project that just doesn't work or with people that won't work at all. Remember that there's a lot more to a great business than the original idea. It really takes a lot of effort, time, energy, and usually a lot of money as well. So how do we control our time? Actually, before we talk about controlling our time or managing our time, let's continue to talk about conserving your energy. For me, having just entered the second 50 years of my life, I can tell you that energy is the resource that I must protect, and is often protected by how I spend my time. Go with me for a moment. Think about this. How long does it take an 18-year-old man in good shape to run a 100-yard dash? How long does it take a 50-year-old? How about a 100-year-old? How about a 2-year-old? The answer is longer, because the younger you are, the older you are, it becomes harder for you to focus your energy for long or even have that much energy. So energy is the resource that you've got to protect. That's another real reason to get on a good diet and exercise regimen as well. It will increase your energy significantly. So how do you manage your energy? Often it's with your calendar and by executing well on other topics contained in the series. It's the primary reason to just say no, for example. Manage how you spend your time. Watch who you spend your time with and what you read. Manage your resources. Count the cost before you start. Manage the way people self-sabotage, and manage your fears. If we eliminate the things that waste our time, we will have more time for the activities that we should be doing. It really makes sense, doesn't it? We do this by being more circumspect of what we get involved with. They are all time suckers. Okay? Now back to the homeless, drug addict, beggar, thief example, or even the alcoholic chief executive or stay-at-home mom. They've allowed something to gain control of their ability to focus their energy. You could say that whatever habit the person has, almost without fail, that habit is dissipating their energy level, and thus success is negatively impacted. An example of dissipating the energy of an entity, think back of a hurricane or tropical storm weather announcement. Many times a storm loses strength because the wind shear dissipated the storm. In this context, what is wind shear? Everything we've been discussing. Not saying no, not managing your money, self-sabotaging, not being circumspect. Remember in the Become session, when we spoke about your life taking on an energy of its own? Remember that? Zero basing is a lot like that. It allows you to get to that point. So let's talk about that just for a minute. Zero basing for your life and your organization. Before you take on any new ventures, unless you're sitting around with a lot of time on your hands, something else will have to be eliminated before you take on another project. Zero basing starts with writing a list about your organization, people and process, products that you know are just not right. I'll give you a few examples you can get started with. An employee that keeps you awake at night because you're frustrated over how they're handling your customers or their other duties. Another example is you offer a service that consumers always seem to misunderstand or have a problem with. An employee or contractor that's always missing deadlines or making mistakes. A person in your life that is causing strife. I knew a guy that his life was so filled with strife when he got home from work at night, he would sit in his car for an hour before he went inside. It was that bad. An employer or contractor that does not have the skills necessary to cause you to excel at your current or future product, and you're responsible for it. Okay? The list goes on of things that we need to zero base and consider. If you want to have a winning team, your team must have winners on it as the players. Another way to look at this is if your receptionist is not an A player, she's just got to go. If your CPA is not an A player, doesn't meet the agreed upon or mandated timelines, they've just got to go. Over the years, every time I've dismissed or replaced an employer or contractor, I have never regretted it. Never. I've only regretted it that I didn't do it sooner. But why? Why is that the case? I'll assure you of one thing that I don't ever want you to forget. If you are frustrated, so are they. But you keep paying 100%, and they start doing less work because of their frustration. Listen to this excerpt from a quote that is attributed to Condoleezza Rice. She said, "If you're bitter and angry, then you will believe you are a victim. You will feel aggrieved, and the twin brother to aggrievement is entitlement. So now you think you are owed something, and you don't have to work for it. And now you're on a really bad road." Another concept to share with you is a concept we call on Friday we're even. Not long ago, I fired 2 senior staff people from my office for the exact issues we're dealing with in this lesson. First, they had been good employees for a long time, but over time they had been required to do more with less. I mean, just the way things are in today's economy. And in one case, one of the ladies, a job that she was asked to do, she was just really not well suited for. It took only about 12 months before these long-term employees began to say to themselves, "I'm indispensable. He can't do without me." Just after she reached that place in her mind, she became a cancer in the office by taking and talking about me and my wife and others behind her back. True to form, the second employee affected began to feel aggrieved over the issues as well. And before you know it, they were both so mad at us that they hated our guts, or so they wrote about it back and forth via chat. Over time, they became so emboldened that they forgot to close the chat one day before they went home. My wife and I were really taken aback by their attacks. But after a meeting with our coach, we came to the conclusion that the problem was our fault, not theirs. They had just acted like almost every other person will when they reach the point that they are offended over something or feel that you can't do without them. Our coach gave us a word of advice, and I want to pass it on to you now. You've got to develop the attitude that I'm going to give you a great job to do, a great work environment, good wages. I'm going to treat you fairly. But on every Friday when I pay you, we're even. Want to come back next week and start over? I'll see you then. Feel like you own the place? When you don't come back. Now, I know that this is a little harsh and it applies differently up and down the corporate ladder, but the basic truth can more easily be explained using another analogy. How about a football analogy? I hired you, for example, because you're a great wide receiver. Okay? If I move you to a middle guard, you're not going to be successful, and you'll come to resent me, and so will the other players, because they'll forget that I'm the one, the boss, made the mistake and moved you into that position you weren't really well suited for. They will only be upset with you because you are not pulling your weight. Or I hired you to be a great wide receiver, but of late you've been missing practice and you've missed some passes too. You've got to improve. At the next game, the same thing happened again. The point of being even on Friday and zero basing is often seen in a professional football team. If a player does not play to the level needed to win on great teams, they are replaced. Isn't that right? But on bad losing teams, what happens? Nothing. They continue to play and the team continues to lose. Why? Why is that? Primarily because for some reason the coach or manager or the owner is hanging on to yesteryear and does not have the strength it takes to change the weak player. So they continue to lose. At your business, in your family, you deserve to have a winning team. And I hope that today's session has given you some ideas and the inner strength to make those decisions. Until you believe in this concept, they will be hard decisions. But as soon as you embrace the fact that you deserve A players, the decision to move a person out of the way will become easier to do. Just think of how much time and energy you've spent over the years by knowing about or using these concepts. Just think what you could have accomplished if you replaced poor performing products with great products. And what about poor performing employees and contractors with great performers? I'll bet you would have had a winning team that you deserve. Here at Scoreway University, our goal is to help you improve you. We all need to. I know that I'll need to continue to improve every day. When we make self-improvement our key focus, it is then possible to implement new proven strategies for growing your business that we teach here at Scoreway University and our upcoming Credit Repair Summit. Remember that you have the power to control your destiny. Get out of life all that it has. To do that, you've just got to do the best and be the best you can be. We're glad to help you do that through this series and invite you to know more about the Credit Repair Summit that's just around the corner. Now, if this video has been valuable to you, I want you to do the following for me. Do me a favor. Share the wealth of knowledge with everyone that you know. Like, trust, via our social media links below. Tell us also what you like best about this video and comment below as well. Remember, become. Choose the right activities to invest your precious time in. And stay tuned for video lesson number 3 in the coming days. And remember to spend 30 minutes today, every day, improving yourself. It will strengthen you and cause your business to soar. Thanks again. Make it a great day.